Thank you for tuning in to the best parenting show on the internet, Post Daily Dose.
It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post. It's the Post. The Post Daily Dose. It's the Post. It's the Post.
Hey, good evening, Facebook family. Welcome to another episode of Post Daily Dose with me, your trusted parenting advisor, faithful guide and servant on the healing journey. What's my name? Big Papa Brian+Post. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Tuesday. So I had a dinner appointment and it ran a little bit late, so Post Daily Dose is coming to you a little bit late. Today's episode, we're going to talk about resetting your emotions to avoid disruption. So I've been getting approached by a lot of people. I've got a lot of conferences that I'm going to be presenting at over the next couple months, and some of these are international adoption conferences. Some of them are just foster parenting, adoption, kinship conferences, and then just getting like messages from parents. Hello there, Opa Fayetta. And I keep getting this recurring theme around families going through this drama, this trauma drama, where they are just on the edge. I mean, it's like they've just hit the final point of knowing what to do and are really considering, disrupting their adoptions or their foster care placements. And that's just one of the saddest things in the world for me. But I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that. It's more than a state of mind, that stress of the heart. Because, and this has pretty much been my whole career. So for 20 years, I have always worked with families when they had exhausted everything else. And so some of you have heard the statistic that on average, families that we've worked with at the Post+Institute have been in 7 years of mental health treatment and counseling of some form or another. The children come to us. By the time the families get to us, the children are on 3 to 5 different psychiatric medications. That's the average family. And that has been consistent and held up over a span of 20 years. What is it that goes into, a family struggling year after year after year, and finally they get to that breaking point and they're unable to get, after years of counseling services, years of maybe putting the child in group homes or residential treatment, they're just unable to pull it together. And I want to talk about that because families start out, they probably go a good year, maybe even 2 years, just doing their best to try to figure it out. But counseling resources are pretty readily available today. So then they end up in counseling, and the well-intentioned counselor starts them usually on like the most basic, your most basic mental health professional is going to put you on a behavior modification chart. I mean, that's like parenting 101, that's like therapy 101. The behavior modification charts, the probably the consequences, the more rigid structure models, the grounding, the punitive kind of stuff, and then also the recommendations for medication. So then parents will typically go through another couple of years of having that experience, and then they get the jaded feeling. It's just, this is just our life. This is just what we have to put up with. But then the kid continues to struggle and continue to have challenges. The parents continue to have struggles and challenges. And so they'll go through another couple years before they start looking for help again. If in that period of time they haven't explored residential treatment or some kind of out-of-home placements. And the thing is we start with energy, right? We start with this energy state, this desire, this drive to figure it out. And over years, You just get tired. You just get beat down. And you get overwhelmed. And what that feeling is that's burnout. That is the same feeling that firefighters get, that police officers get, that nurses get, people in the helping professions experience. I've experienced it over long periods of time of opening your heart and your emotions. You continue to experience an overwhelming amount of stress. And that overwhelming amount of stress literally burns out your adrenal glands. See, burnout, by the very definition, the physiologic definition of burnout is a depletion of adrenal functioning. So your adrenal glands, which is your second primary stress hormone, and they start in your gut, cortisol being in your brain, your adrenal glands can literally become exhausted, depleted. Very common among people in the helping profession. And for parents who are struggling not only with children who have their own trauma histories, but up against the face of their own trauma. And see, that's the piece that makes it really challenging, is that so oftentimes we're not even aware of what's being stirred up for us by experiencing the stress of the child. See, the stress of the child, the vibration that the child is emitting, stirs up our own stuff. And then what you have happen is you get a parent that becomes overwhelmed in the presence of a child who's already overwhelmed. And those two entities, those two beings, continue to emit such a high frequency of negative tension. It's such a high frequency or such a high frenetic vibration that it overwhelms the system. And then you get burnout, and then you want to give up. You feel hopeless, you feel despair, you feel resentment, you shut down, and then you hit another stage of just going through the motions. And that's the stage of where you just don't care. Usually the parent becomes depressed, they kind of let the kid just do more and more, and then they yell or they hit in reaction to the child's behavior problems. And that's the point where when parents come out of that and they start looking for hope again, they come to Post+Institute and they're like, what do we have to do? And it's because everyone is exhausted. And what you have to do, and this is for the parent who's at risk of disrupting right now. You have to change your environment. You have to radically change your environment. And you're going to have to do this for at least a weekend. At least a weekend, you're going to have to do a total reset where you go camping. It's summertime, kids are out of school, go camping. Okay? Leave the electronics at home, go camping. Literally let your kids just do whatever. They're not going to like camping anyway. But it's going to give everyone an opportunity to have a physiologic reset. And that's what you got to do. Sometimes I've had parents take their kid and just go to a hotel room for a weekend. Swim, eat whatever they want to eat, watch movies, just have a complete physiologic reset. That's step one. That's step one. Without that physiologic reset, it's going to be hard for you to recover and rebound. Okay, number two is you've got to grieve. These things all become very hard because you think, I don't want to go away with my kid. I don't like him to begin with. And I don't want to spend any extra time with him. So you have to make that commitment. It's always funny when I'm outside and kids start hanging around and checking out what Big Papa's doing over here in front of his phone. So you have to make that commitment to get out of the environment, have a physiologic reset, totally change your environment. Go to a big city, go to the country, go out in the woods, go to the ocean, go to the lake. Doesn't matter where it's at. Get out of your existing environment and have a physiologic reset. Number two, you have to grieve. At some point in this process, you have to grieve your pain. Now, here's what's going to happen. You're going to be grieving your pain and your anger about what's going on right now, about what you've been experiencing in your family right now. But what's going to happen if you allow that, it'll drop into deeper grief. Because everything that's going on with your child right now, all the emotion that's getting stirred up with your child right now are actually emotions that already exist. It's pain that already exists from experiences that you've already encountered. And the thing is your child just stirs it up because they've got their own stuff they've got to heal. And where we've got to get to as parents is we got to get to a place to where we can not have our stuff being so pronounced and so overwhelming that it overwhelms our child's stuff and our child never gets an opportunity to heal. We got to settle our stuff so we can actually create an environment and a relationship to allow them to heal themselves, to allow their healing process to unfold. So you have to grieve your pain. Start with right where you're at. Start with right where you're at. Go into those feelings. Go into your emotions. Go into your body. Have your anger. Have your sadness. Sometimes it'll even end up in laughter. You never know. But you have to grieve, just like you're going to a funeral. Look in that coffin and you see a funeral of your past experiences. You see the death of your past experiences, the loss of loved ones. You see the things that you've gone through, that you held on to, and the resentments and the anger. See that in that coffin and grieve just like you would be at a funeral. It's that kind of grief that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about just talking to someone about your pain. I'm talking about grieving your pain like you were at a funeral of your best friend, of your loved one, of your parent. Like you're grieving your pain. That's the kind of grief I'm talking about. And then number 3, what you have to do is you have to have a cognitive reset. The cognitive reset is the communication you have with your child. Where the best place to be, I'm going to tell you this, and this is going to be hard. It's hard and it's going to sound hard because you're not there yet. But the best place to be with your child when you move into a cognitive reset is apologizing. You say, look, honey, it has been really tough lately, and I am so sorry. I have not been able to figure out what it is that you need and what it is that I need in order for us to have a peaceful, loving home. But I want it more than ever. It's something that I want more than ever. And I want to be able to get to this place with you. And I just need you to tell me, what is it that you need from me? I wish I could have figured this out on my own, but I can't. I need you to tell me, what is it that you need from me? What are the little things that we can start doing? Because I want to do something different. I don't want to keep doing what we've been doing all along. I want to do something different. And you have a cognitive reset. You have that communication. You might have a little cry together, a nice little hug. You listen. Listen. Don't defend. Listen. And then as you do that, all these pieces, when you have that physiologic reset, you have that emotional reset, you have that cognitive reset, all these pieces start to come back together and allows your system to regulate more effectively. And if you'll work that process, if you'll really work that process, you'll avoid that disruption. You won't have to send that child away. And sometimes you might have to work through it over a course of several weekends. But if you'll keep working it, you're going to have a breakthrough in your home. You're going to have a breakthrough in your life. You're going to have a breakthrough in your relationships. And that's the kind of work that we do and will be doing at the Post Parenting Camp. At Post Parenting Camp 2019, that's exactly what we're going to do. You have a physiologic reset, you're going to have an emotional reset, and then you're going to have a cognitive reset. And when you leave, you might come broken. When you leave, you're going to come integrated. You're going to come feeling connected. You're going to leave feeling supported. You're going to leave feeling inspired, motivated, and encouraged. That's what we're going to be doing. But you guys can start that process right now. And some of you I'm not going to see at the parenting camp. I understand that, and that's cool. You still got to do those 3 things. You've got to do those 3 things. Those 3 things become imperative. So I hope that's helpful. I hope that's beneficial for you. Remember, in any given situation, we always have 2 choices. We can continue to react from the same imprints of stress and fear and overwhelm, and we can keep doing the same thing we've always done and keep expecting a different result, or we can stop. We can take 3 to 10 deep breaths. We can slow down, and we can choose love. God bless you. Big Papa loves you. I pray for your peace. I pray for your restoration. I pray for your re-energizing state, your fulfillment, your love in your home, and the reduction of fear in your life. We'll see you tomorrow.